The Darksaber, an ancient and unique black-bladed lightsaber created by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order. You've probably seen it in all your favourite Star Wars shows, whether it's The Clone Wars, Rebels, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and probably much more even after this video's come out. But now you get to see it in LEGO form, and learn a little bit about how it was built so that you could take some of these techniques and ideas and apply them when you want to build your own version. So this LEGO mock of the Darksaber that I've created is more or less a 1-to-1 scale version of the original weapon. It also has a stand with a little name plaque for display purposes, but that said, it can very easily be held and lifted above like the real thing. This creation was inspired by the version of the blade from Star Wars Rebels. There are actually subtle differences between the Darksaber across the different shows that it's appeared in. In the Clone Wars, it's a lot more sort of stripped back with a lot of sort of smaller rectangles near the edge of the hilt, whereas in Rebels, these rectangles are fewer and thicker, but the hilt still has that sort of rectangular shape to it. While in the live-action form, the blade is a lot more circular and darker. So if you want to build your own, you could always make the Clone Wars or the live-action version to do something a little bit similar, but a little bit different, but it's totally up to you. When I made this, I spent ages looking at the source material so that I was certain that the blade was accurate. So if you want to make your own, I suggest you do the same, whether you just look up images or you watch the episodes it was in. Studying the images is always a big help. So let's do a bit of a breakdown of the Darksaber now. How did I make it? Let's start off by looking at the blade itself. It's made up of a series of large Technic lift arms. Here's an example of one of these lift arms on Bricklink if you want the name, so you can look up some yourself or order them yourself, whatever you want to do. I simply attach these lift arms with a series of black Technic pins to form a long and strong beam. Then from there, I added these smaller Technic pins to the edge to allow for plates to be connected on that edge. The Technic beams are really important here because the blade needs to be really strong and have a really strong base of support so that you can actually hold it up, so it can actually support itself and it won't just fall apart. So once the blade was made, I used some white and black plates to build out that sort of Darksaber effect along the edge to keep it accurate and make it looking good. And I think it turned out pretty good. When we reach the end of the blade, we can see that it used two different types of clips. Here are those clips on Bricklink, so you can grab the names for later use. I then built these clips into the edge of the plates, and this allowed for this triangular look to be possible. I then created a sort of triangle structure with some of these slope pieces, specifically these slopes, if you want to build it yourself. And then I built in a snot brick at the top. This is the snot brick that I used specifically. And doing so allowed me to attach it to the plates above, and then everything else just sort of slotted together in a quick and easy fashion. And now you have the edge of the blade looking accurate and very similar to the source material. So that's how I built the bulk of the blade. Now let's talk about the hilt. Much like the blade, the hilt is resting on a sturdy and strong Technic base, as you can see when I peel off some of these panels. When I do, you can also get a bit of a peek inside at sort of the guts of the Darksaber. Looking into the guts, we can see that a lot of these black tile pieces on the outside are simply placed with more of these snot bricks so that they can be placed on all four sides of the Darksaber. Using snot bricks proved really helpful with the overall design here. Additionally, a lot of the patterns on the edge of the hilt were made with this panel idea in mind. I'd simply build out what I wanted on a separate plate, add some connection points onto the Darksaber, and place the plate onto the larger structure. And it got the job done. Simple and easy. The rest of the hilt is fairly simple. Here you can see what the underside looks like when I peel away some of these black tiles. It's just a mix of plates and snot bricks. Oh, and the little end bit here, whatever you want to call this, the butt of the Darksaber perhaps, here are a few little breakdown images that show you how that's made. So let me now show you some of the basic principles of how I built the interior beam and placed bricks around it so that it was sturdy and strong. It's the same principle as before, I only this time introduced a few Technic bricks. These are the specific Technic bricks if you want to get some yourself. So by using some of these Technic bricks, I was able to branch off of this Technic structure and start building with your normal plates and bricks. And on top of that, it's always connected onto this beam structure, so it's sturdy and strong, which was certainly one of the goals when I was building this. Whenever I could, I'd always find ways of locking things together with pins, plates, or bricks so that everything was always sturdy or overlapping in some way, and that really does help the structure overall. I also added some lightsaber rods into the pins for additional reinforcement. Honestly, I don't know if I really needed these, but it was some nice peace of mind, and sometimes that's all that matters. It can put a little bit of stress on the lightsaber rods when you insert them in this fashion, so you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It could be classified as an illegal technique. But like I said, peace of mind. So once this support structure was made, I was free to build out the rest around it. The guard sort of towards the top of the Darksaber here is a simple plate construction with tiles on the top to make it look smooth and fit in with the rest of the textures on the Darksaber. I then added in some clip elements to allow for some of the angled areas of this guard piece here. And I also placed clips in the middle here, which allowed it to be inserted into the rest of the sword as well. And on top of that, because it's those clips, I was able to sort of angle it slightly so it matches the source material. So that's some of the basic principles of how the Darksaber was built. I wanted to focus mainly on the internal structure in this video, so that if you wanted to build your own, you'd have a very sturdy design, one that you can hold and one that won't really fall apart as well. Hopefully with what you saw today, you can take some of these techniques and add them into your toolbox, so that when you want to build any kind of sword, lightsaber, or weapon, you'll be able to make it sturdy, strong, and realistic. And by the way, don't forget to buy that new Mjolnir Thor's Hammer set, because it has some fairly similar principles with really sturdy structures in the inside there to keep it sturdy and allow you to actually move it around and play with it. So definitely some stuff you can learn from that set as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll be posting more breakdown and technique videos of my mocks soon, so be sure to head over to my social media and check out the other mocks that I've made. And then let me know in the comments below what other techniques, breakdowns, or any other sort of mock reviews you want to see, and I'll make a video about it. My social media is in the description below, so you can check it out there if you're interested. Thanks again, happy building, and bye for now.